sitting high on them inches, I'm in the nosebleeds. I'm on a paper chase until my toes bleed.
All right, man. Third time is a charm. But here we go. Welcome back to the nosebleed section, everybody. Tonight is more and more crazy and eventful. But through these trying times, we're going to keep going forward. That's all we can do. As I was always told, winning, always walk forward. Don't go back. We're going to get through it. We're on our draft recap, which admittedly is my fault for us getting this video out this late. I've been incapacitated. I don't know what happened to me. It's trying to break it down. I'm an old man at the age of 28. It sucks, but it's fine. Keep moving. The draft is over. It was a good time for a lot of teams, and it was a bad time for some teams. But we're going to go down. I'm going to go down the list of everything. It's too much, but surrounded by all my co-hosts, we're going to go down. But before we get into that, I will introduce everybody. So we'll go around the room. Amber, what's going on, bro?
How's it going, everyone?
Abu, what's up?
What's going on, Joe?
Jaquan, how you feeling?
Tired. Very tired. I'm not even gonna lie to you right now. I'm tired. And I'm hungry.
We haven't helped that.
Way to bring the energy. Kuz, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good now that Amber switched out of his Josh Bellamy jersey.
Oh. For the record.
Fucking sawed him down.
Oh my God. I knew that was coming from one. I knew it. You know, and I was gonna leave my jersey right here, so when one of you assholes say something, I raise it up, but it's all the way over across the room.
All right. Now, for the record, it's Allen Robinson jersey.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
I had to up the pace a little bit, get everybody juices flowing.
It's a good change of pace, honestly.
Whoa. All right. So the draft's come and gone, guys. We're going to get into it. We're going to do our draft winners and losers, people that you thought, or teams that you thought really killed the draft. So we're going to go around. We'll start with all of our winners, and then we'll cycle back through and go through all our losers. So, Amber, who was your winner of the draft?
I picked the Bengals. They obviously got Joe Burrow at the first overall pick. He's arguably the best quarterback in the draft. You saw what he did in college, won the Heisman, a national champ, number 1 overall pick. Nothing else to say about him. I really like the fact that they had one pick down and then they executed on every pick. They got their needs. They got what they were aiming for. In the second round, they took T. Higgins. Again, all of you guys know how much I love T. Higgins. I've been a huge fan of it. I think over time with development, he'll be a great wide receiver in the league. He's 6'4", 216, and ran a 4.54. I think with a guy with a big body like that at receiver, he's huge. He's a huge target. So I feel like he'll be something in the league, and hopefully AJ Green and John Ross can stay healthy. That way they'll have pretty much a dominant receiving core between them three. And then they ended up picking up 3 linebackers and a defensive end to beef up their defense. They also picked up a tackle to protect Joe Burrow, essentially. They ended up taking Logan Wilson, I believe, in the 3rd round, which, again, he's out of Wyoming. I really like the way his sideline to sideline speed is. He has great awareness for play recognition and everything going on onto the field. CBS Sports has pretty much every draft pick that they took at an A- or higher. The only one that was lower than that was Logan Wilson out of Wyoming. They have him at a B-, but that's from a previous injury, I believe. And I believe like pretty much all the picks that they took will be day one starters, if not really solid backup or role players. So that's why I picked them as my winners.
All right. I was trying to remember if that Logan Wilson pick was second or third round, but I think because you said T. Higgins went the second, right?
Yeah, he was third round. My mistake.
No, you said second. I mean, you said third. I was thinking it was second, but not. You're right. It was third. Kuz, who's your draft day winner?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
My draft day winner, the Broncos. Like the Broncos added so many like skilled players, fast players. Like that offense is going to be serious. They added Jerry Jeudy in the first, doubled down on wide receiver in the second, got KJ Hamler. Then they picked that quarterback out of I think Iowa, Michael Ojemudia.
Yeah.
And then later, even in round 4, they got Albert O, Justin Sternad in the 5th. Like I mean, it's just an overall like good draft from top to bottom. Like. That offense is gonna like. I can't wait to watch that offense. Just not against my team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when they added some offensive line pieces, I believe. I mean, along with did they add on the offensive line in the draft?
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. They
added him for agency.
Oh yeah. They also got Lloyd Cushenberry the third in the third.
There you go.
That's what I thought.
And they also got the Muti.
And a guard too. He can stay healthy.
Yeah.
That old.
Yeah.
Really good.
So they like from top to bottom, this is an overall good draft. And like I tell you what, if fucking Drew Lock turns out to be a bust, the next quarterback that goes there is set.
Oh yeah. You'll have a solid offensive line. They got Fant and Alberto. You're gonna have Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Hamler. And you got Melvin Gordon and what's my man's name? And
they got track stars at tight end, basically.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Their whole offense, they upgraded it from top to bottom, which was...
Yeah. I don't even think they picked the defensive guy till like the 7th round.
Yeah, I love
they picked the quarterback. I'm sorry, yeah.
My division now. Shoot. Jaquan, what's up? Who's your draft day winner?
My draft day winner is the Minnesota Vikings. We all knew that they struggled immensely on defense, especially at the corner position. And Xavier Rhodes fell off a cliff and set himself on fire and fell through some jagged rocks, essentially. So they were able to get Jeff Gladney, Cam Dantzler, Harrison Hands, all 3 physical Mike Zimmer level corners that just beat guys up at the line of scrimmage, beat guys up all the way up the routes, knock guys off their routes. So I love it. They got Troy Dye out of Oregon on day 3, and he essentially had a day 2 grade and was one of the top 10 linebackers that I've seen. And they got him on day 3. So, I mean, if that's not a steal, I don't know what is. And then they got Kenny Wilkes from Michigan, I believe, who's an athletic freak. Michigan State, who's an athletic freak. And they got him on day 7. So, I mean, they just had value picks all up and down. And then they solidified their offensive line with Ezra Cleveland in the 2nd round. And essentially what was the middle of the 2nd round, because they were in talks with Trent Williams to try and bring him over to solidify the offensive line. They got a cheaper guy. They got a younger guy. They got a guy who's more athletic. So, I mean, just up and down, I think the Vikings just killed it.
All right. And Abu, what's up? Who do you think who your draft day winner?
So, in considering teams for both the winners and the losers, I looked at what went down during the offseason that kind of shaped the direction they were going in towards the draft. So for the winners, I decided my selection was Indianapolis Colts, because coming off of a year where they already had a really good, pretty young defense. I know Jay just buried him, but the acquisition of Xavier Rhodes and DeForest Buckner kind of solidified that defense a little bit more. And obviously they needed help on the offensive side. So they went and they got Michael Pittman Jr., really good receiver out of USC. They also picked up Jonathan Taylor at running back to go along with Marlon Mack. That seems to be the new model these days. People are trying to go with like a dual running back system, trying like really ground and pound. They got Julian Blackmon, the safety out of Utah, could be a really significant contributor early on. And they got Jacob Eason, who you could sit behind Phillip Rivers, who at least is going to be there for 1 year, soak up as much as you can, and definitely sit behind Jacoby Brissett for however long he's been there, who, even though he hasn't had that much success. Still a veteran in the league, 2 pretty good quarterbacks to sit behind. I think the Colts will put themselves in a position to be contenders not just this year, but for years to come in the AFC.
Nice. I like the insight, bro. For me, as much as I hate to say it, and as much as I hate to give them any credit ever in the history of life, forever and ever, my draft day winners, unfortunately, are the Cowboys.
Kill me now. Just kill me.
It just never gets any better for us. But
Oh boy.
you know what? I blame the Raiders. The Raiders.
Absolutely. That roast. That roast. Oh my God.
Just you have to. Oh my God!
Oh man.
Forgets how to draft. Like it's. Oh my gosh! I can't believe okay, the Cowboys go out and you sit there and you know for a fact they were not expecting Jerry Jr. to be on the board at 17. Not expecting it, and I'm sure Jerry Jones, you're any halfway competent owner, GM, whatever, is probably looking at his board. He probably had Xavier McKinney or somebody there, and he was just like, "Oh shit, CeeDee Lamb still on the board? Take that motherfucker!" Like, what the hell? Like, it's just a value pick at this point. Like, I can't not take CeeDee Lamb. Like, I have to, or I'm going to fire myself. Like, come on, you have to take the guy. So for you to sit there at 17,
too easy.
yeah. So for you to sit there at 17, you have the Cowboys offensive line, which is going to be probably good regardless of who's there on the offensive line. You're going to have Zeke Elliott in the backfield. And now you look at your weapons for Dak Prescott. And it also it's a question does it matter if they pay Dak Prescott or if Dak Prescott's there next year or not? Because now you got Amari Cooper, who you just resigned for like 5 years, $100 million. You got Michael Gallup on the other side. And now you add CeeDee Lamb to that. Like, so your receiving core is disgusting. So now it begs the question, like, does it really matter if we pay Dak Prescott this franchise quarterback money? As long as we can bring in some type of mid-level quarterback and that just doesn't blow the game for us. But
they should have drafted Jake Fromm.
They could have, but I mean, that's a whole other podcast that I'll never talk about because I'm not talking about
Ever.
So, like, I don't care enough about that. But for you to go, so they did that, and then they sat there at their second pick, and they got Trevon Diggs, who's probably one of the best cornerback still left in the draft. Jerry Jones is sitting on his yacht having the greatest draft ever. Kills me. Then you go back in the third round, you add Neville Gallimore, who people had as a second round D tackle. And you go back, you get Reggie Robinson in the fourth round. And you just kept so you got an outside corner and you got Reggie Robinson, your slot nickel dime corner. Then you sit here and I was so, and Jay, you saw me post on Facebook. I was so disgusted by this pick. And the Cowboys traded in front of the Giants, and I think the Giants were 2 picks. The Cowboys traded up in the 5th round and took Tyler Biadasz, and it pissed me off to no extent. Now, listen, I don't know what Gettleman was going to do. Gettleman was probably going to take a linebacker regardless. I don't know. We'll never know. But I have my hopes set on Tyler Biadasz, but it makes too much sense. They lost Travis Fredericks, who had Guillain-Barré syndrome and had to unfortunately retire, a center from Wisconsin. And they go out and they get another center from Wisconsin, Tyler Biadasz, who at one point was looked at as the best center in the draft, but fell all the way to the 5th round because of injury concerns. But the Cowboys have to be that team. They have to make headlines. They have to be that guy. Jerry Jones has to be that person that when nobody else is going to give you a chance, I'll do it. They have to be that. He probably patted himself on the back so hard for that pick. I want to kick him square in the chest. Like, pisses me off so much. Like, and then you come back later in the same round and trade in front of the Giants again and take Bradley and Nye. Oh, heated. And then what do the Giants do? The Giants take another inside backer, but again, that's neither here nor there. Who knows what was going to happen? And then they ended off with Ben DiNucci, the quarterback. He's originally from Pittsburgh, and then he was a grad transfer with James Madison. But the kid has talent. Like, I watched a couple of his games at Pittsburgh, and I watched a couple of his games at James Madison this year, including his bowl game. He actually did pretty good. He's pretty good. Really athletic, has a solid arm. So, I mean, that could be somebody they try to develop for the future. I have no clue. But unfortunately, I have to say the Cowboys had a spectacular draft. it hurts every part of my soul to admit that.
So
What's up?
basically, you're saying Jerry Jones is a better GM or owner than David Gettleman.
I just think Jerry Jones got lucky. Like he literally sat there and just like he didn't start doing anything until the fourth round.
Chilling.
He's on his yacht like, what's the board look like? Yeah, I'm gonna
First
take
of all,
that guy, and then I'm gonna take that guy, and then I'm gonna take that guy. And I'm gonna take that guy. You know what? Now we can start trading because I kind of want this guy, bro.
First of all, there's something nasty about an old white man on a boat drafting players, but I don't want to talk about that. Nobody mentioned that. Nobody talked about that part. Nobody brought that up. But whatever. That's cool.
Family show.
That's cool. An all white boat with white couches.
I was just about to say that too.
Get out of here, dog. I don't want to play for that man anyways. Guess what? The last time they won a Super Bowl, you needed a VCR to watch their highlight of that season. So I'm straight on that.
Oh man, that's a good point.
I wasn't gonna go there, bro. I wasn't gonna
the
go
spice
there.
show. I only know one way.
I was not gonna go there. But you had to take it there.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Sorry.
Not ghost pepper sauce. What's wrong with you? Like, relax. Love to that.
It's a light spice.
There's something light. Never mind. We're gonna move on. So, Jesus, I can't even know how to recover from that. We're gonna move on to our draft day losers. So we'll go back around. You know, guys know the drill. We'll start with Amber. Who's your loser of this year's draft?
All right, so my losers were the Texans. Mainly because they only had 5 picks in the draft. They didn't make any types of moves to try to build up their draft capital or select more people in the trade back to get more picks in the rounds. They didn't even have a first rounder, which again, some teams didn't, but I feel like they didn't make the most of any of their picks. The only pick I give any excitement for was the TCU defensive tackle Ross Blacklock. They picked him up in the second round, and I think that was a great pickup for them. Some said that he was or could have been a first rounder, depending on how the draft went. Again, that's you can give or take if he was a first rounder or not. But again, that's literally the only pick I think that was good enough for them. Outside of Blacklock, they didn't really draft anyone special or worthy to talk about, to be honest. They drafted an edge rusher, Jonathan Greenard out of Florida. At the count, they a 6.21 grade. So for the combine, basically grade them out of 8. And so a 6.21 literally says he's a backup who could eventually become a starter, but it's not guaranteed. Depending on who he's playing behind or trying to fight his job for, we don't know if he's ever going to become a starter. He'll be a good, solid backup, but we'll have to wait for that to play out. I think the main thing that they didn't do was they didn't adjust the offensive line. And I think that's their biggest need. Out of all the teams in the NFL, that's the worst offensive line. They basically, they did nothing for the offensive line. And it just makes me furious because Deshaun Watson was sacked 55 times, which was the most in the NFL. And then you saw Deshaun Watson being the playmaker he is. He had to create all the opportunities he did. Otherwise, I think he would have been sacked maybe 10 more times out of this. They signed 2 offensive tackles, Brent Vale, I don't know how to say his last name, and then Roderick Johnson. Both of them are on 1-year deals, so they provide depth, but neither of them are starters. As of now, they're not starters at least. Outside of Laramie Tunsil, from the Dolphins, they have literally the weakest line in the NFL. So I think that's basically why I picked them as the losers for me, is they didn't address the things they needed. I feel like they just picked who was best board, whereas they should have been picking basically to address their needs. Again, they only had 5 picks. You could have traded back and gotten more picks, but again, they didn't do it. And I think they just didn't help Deshaun Watson at all. And a lot of people said, oh, well, now they got who's that receiver from the Cowboys? they just signed after they traded away DeAndre Hopkins.
Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb. So everyone was saying, oh, he'll fill the need, but Randall Cobb nowhere near or never was or will be DeAndre Hopkins. Nowhere near him. I feel like they just got worse and they didn't help themselves in the draft anyway. So that's why I picked them as my losers.
All right. Kuz, who are your draft day losers?
You're muted.
Always a man of many words.
No, because he's muted.
Just so y'all, I had like a tough battle picking my winner, and I also had a tough battle picking my loser. But ultimately, I ended up picking for my losers. I ended up picking the Chargers because after their first round, their draft was trash. They got Justin Herbert and Kenneth Murray in the first round, and then not much after that. And then my honorable mention was the Cardinals because after Isaiah Simmons, they really didn't do a whole lot.
So who's just like to go into depth for the Chargers draft because I don't remember. So who else did they get after those two initial picks?
They got like, damn, hold on. I took a picture of it, but not on my phone. So they had Joshua Kelly from UCLA, Joe Reed, wide receiver from Virginia, Alohi Gilman from Notre Dame, and KJ Hill. Like,
Okay.
I mean, it's all right, but like,
I feel they took Joshua Kelly in the third round.
yeah, Joshua Kelly in third round.
I feel like that's a bit of a reach, but all right. I mean,
Projected to be like 5th round.
Something
yeah,
like
that's
that.
what I'm saying. I thought I saw him around like the 4th and 5th round floating around. I didn't see him as like a third round pick. Then again, a lot of
I honestly thought they picked him in the 4th round, but 3rd round, that's a huge reach.
Yeah, it definitely is. I didn't again like I saw his name a lot. I know he did pretty well in the Senior Bowl, so I know a lot of people had him like on their radar. But again, third round is a lot. That's definitely a lot. And there was a lot of talent still on the board in the third round. So then to take running back to Austin Eckler in the third round is a little surprising.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And my other like I had for winner was the Ravens.
You have for winning?
Yeah, I was between the Ravens and the Broncos, but I also chose the Broncos. But the Ravens had a pretty serious draft too.
Yeah, the Ravens picked up a lot of value.
Yep, they got Patrick Queen backer because both their top linebackers came to Jets in back-to-back off season, so they now need a linebacker. They got Patrick Queen, J.K. Dobbins in the second round. Like, that's a serious move. Justin Metaboik, Devin DuVernay, Malik Harrison. They got Dyer Phillips from Mississippi State at guard, Ben Bradenson. Like, just James Prochet in the 6th round. Like,
that pick blew my mind. James Prochet in the 6th.
It's not fair. It's just not fair.
So surprised he lasted the 6th round. Taking over him. Heard of. But Jay, who's your draft day loser? Who you got?
Since we mentioned them a lot earlier, and I think that they drafted like the new city they're going to be in. How about them Raiders? How about them Raiders? Like, where do I begin with the It's either they're insane or both John Gruden and Matt Mayock are some kind of evil geniuses that know things that we just don't see on tape because they took Henry Ruggs before CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy, which, I mean, I heard the rumors, but I mean...
But that has to do about
again, I mean, I get it. They're in the division with Tariq Hill, so, like, you got to fight speed with speed. So, I mean, I understand it, but your quarterback is Derek Carr. When was the last time Derek Carr threw a bomb to anybody?
But it doesn't matter. The thing is with Ruggs, you ain't got a bomb to him. You could just hit him on a slant route, and he's gone.
True, but again, we're talking about Derek Carr, so I don't see the match between the two. I don't understand taking him before a receiver like Judy or like Lamb.
I mean,
It
yeah,
doesn't make sense to me.
talked about this before. It's all about like your preference. You wanted Lamb, you wanted a bigger, like taller, big body receiver. I wanted Judy's a little bit smaller, get that rack. They wanted Ruggs, who's like extremely fast in the form of like speed wise Tyreek Hill, like
Yeah. I
game
mean, it's just for me, it was one of those where it was like, of all the receivers that you could have gotten as the Raiders, like any other team, your argument is legit. But I'm looking at like as the Raiders, where it's just like you need somebody that's gonna actually catch the ball from Derek Carr. That's not named Amari Cooper, who's been gone for how long now? Like they don't have anybody else. So I mean, like if you were in a system where you had somebody else and then you put Ruggs in there to be the number one and you have a compliment,
Don't they
then
got
I get it.
and Hunter?
They got who?
They got Tyrell Williams and Hunter Renfro.
I mean,
They're okay receivers.
like, all right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
He has
Yeah,
no,
Hunter Renfro, like Hunter Renfro and Ruggs are both gonna play like a slot. So
yeah, but Ruggs can play outside.
And Tyrell Williams played like third string to Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So I don't know if he just filled a need that they had when all they had was Jordy Nelson, basically.
Well,
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm looking at.
yeah, like put it like this: if you're at 12, who are you taking at receiver? You taking Ruggs over Judy or Lamb?
Hell no.
Everybody know, but like I said, it's a preference thing.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Kuz, I understand what you're saying about preference, but at the end of the day, CD and Jerry Judy outplayed Henry Ruggs by a mile. It wasn't just like.
I mean, first of all, Jerry Judy and Ruggs play on the same team. So.
Let me ask you this: do you think that preference it matters more than BPA, best player available? Do you think preference is better than pure talent left on the board? Because if that is, then like there's nothing we could say to you. Because if you're gonna go BPA, you're never picking Ruggs if you're going BPA.
With John Gruden, it's always about preference. Why do you think he drafted Clelin Ferrell number 4 overall last year?
Hey, but people said that last year's draft was a shit draft, and actually looking back on it, was a pretty good draft.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's one of those situations where either they're going to be looked at as
where they picked Clelin Ferrell.
It's going to be one of those where it's looked at either he's a genius or both of them are insane and need to be fired.
But I mean, then again, you go deeper. They got Lynn Bowden. He's a big
I was getting to that.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not there yet. All
right.
My next bullet point was, how in the blue hell do you take Damon Arnett over how many corners were left? And you took him at what, 19?
That was
in the first round? What?
I actually think.
What are you doing?
Third best corner in this draft.
Nah, dude, not third.
Lord have mercy. Okay, you need to join that Raiders front office then.
Yeah,
obviously, you tripping like the rest of them. We ain't even gonna get to that.
Go on, Jaquan. Go on.
Damon Arnett's like, it's good.
Nah,
yeah, he's good, but he ain't number 19 good.
Nah.
Say that now.
We gonna see. We gonna see.
Come on,
like
now.
I said, it's gonna be one of those.
At 11, you're taking Damon Arnett at 11?
Hell no.
Not at 11. He said 19.
I'm saying if you're the Jets at 11 and you wanted a corner and Okuda and Henderson one at 11, you taking Arnett?
Nah, not at 11.
Okay, exactly. There you go. All right, that's it. Go
but
on.
He was the second corner, third corner.
No, but you just said he's the third best corner. But you just answered it. You wouldn't draft him after Okuda and Henderson. So if he's the third best corner, why wouldn't you draft him at 11? If he's the third
best corner, doesn't mean I'm gonna pick him at 11. I'm gonna get the best value from my pick at 11.
And clearly, he was not the best value at 9.
That's my point. Is that he's not the best value. Like he was at best, at the very best, a top of the second round.
Thank you. That's just what I was.
That is like the apex of his value as a corner.
If you took him in the second round, your argument is good. But like at 19 in the first, hell no.
Like God, Jesus Christ. Like, no. And the thing is, it gets worse. With the Raiders, it gets worse. They took Tanner Muse in the 3rd round. They took Tanner. They took dude that was supposed to be a 5th round safety. They took Tanner Muse.
He's a hybrid.
He's a hybrid, but like, come on, bruh.
Combine up. That's why he took him.
Technically, it was a 4th round pick.
I mean, that's still high for Tanner Muse. Anything before 5th, 6th round to me, it's like, what are you doing? The only 2 picks, literally the only 2 picks that I like was Lynn Bolden and Brian Edwards, but I just would have switched the picks.
It wasn't even the pick that they used on him too. So like, it's at that point, it's just free picks. What does it matter?
Yeah, but
we just throwing it at the wall and hoping something sticks that early.
Those would be the picks to do it with.
Oh my
man!
Okay.
Not better.
Apparently, I'm the only person that thinks that the Raiders are full of mad people. But apparently, we got a madman.
Nah. You're making points.
Listen,
I'm following.
Yeah, no, I follow you. Listen, they traded Mack, and then literally after they traded him, 2 weeks later, Gruden says, "Oh, we need an edge rusher." Then why did you trade him?
Why didn't you draft the edge rusher?
Pretty hard to
Same thing happened when they traded Cooper too. They was like, "Yeah, it'd be easy if we had somebody to throw to."
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
You can't say that.
Not to mention, you had Chason there at 18 because Chason didn't go to 20.
Yeah.
And you talk about you needed an edge rusher, but you take Damian Arnett. I have to Stephen A. Smith you. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah,
are you on crack?
They didn't.
Crack. Come on, man.
Not even in nothing.
And they're not gonna play Tanner Muse at linebacker either because they signed Kwiatkowski and they signed Corey Littleton. So Muse ain't playing back either.
Like Tanner Muse was ranked
they're gonna put him at tight end for all I know.
Bro, like they took him so early, bro. Like that was ridiculous. Like I said, the only picks I like was Lynn Bolden Jr. and Brian Edwards, but I think that Brian Edwards probably should have been drafted first, but I think they were back-to-back, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But it's like, those are the only 2 guys where I'm like, okay, those guys, if they come in and they're starters, Henry Ruggs makes sense. Because you got one guy that's a gadget guy, you got one guy now that's a possession guy, and now you got your burner. So I'm like, okay, that makes the Henry Ruggs pick look a little better, but it's like, bro, you're banking on Henry Ruggs to hit big. Like you're really banking on Henry Ruggs to hit big.
Hey, at the end of the day, like Kuz said, they got Hunter Renfrow and what's his face, Tyrell Williams.
I mean, I guess both of them going over 1,000 yards apparently.
Yeah. Hey, they're the best wide receiver tandem in the league.
I'm telling you, bro, like they not double teaming Henry Ruggs at all. Like Henry Ruggs is getting one-on-ones every play, bro.
Hunter Renfrow is right now, he's like, I think he's the starter or the second receiver in the Raiders lineup. Any other, he's like the 4th string. You put him there at Hail Mary. That's it. You put him in the Hail Mary lineup, hope he catches it.
And no shot. He's done it in the biggest moments. My guy is clutch.
All right, dude, just because he scored in the national championship because Deshaun Watson created that does not mean he's big on fucking plays, bro. Relax.
It was every one of them. Trust me, I watched every game. I'm a Bama fan.
Stop.
All right, but that was coming from Deshaun Watson.
Thank you.
We're talking about Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is not the athlete Watson is.
We got Barry Lewis too.
Yeah,
like Derek Carr is gonna become the Andy Dalton of the 2020s.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Tyrell Williams on the Chargers where he dropped almost every pass? Okay, so
from a Hall of Famer.
Apparently, he's gonna get 150 catches and 2,000 yards. Go on.
2,000 yards.
I
can't with you, Kuz. I can't, bro.
Like I said, the Raiders took a big old L on this one. I'm like, bro, you had maximum opportunity. You had opportunity to really maximize this draft and really put yourself in a position in the AFC. With the Patriots going down, presumably, you had the AFC, like that top of the AFC was really open outside of Kansas City. And then you do this, and it's like, bruh,
And
I
they
mean, I guess they're hoping to outscore Kansas City.
that ain't.
I mean, I guess. I mean, again, I think their most productive player was Josh Jacobs last year, so I can't even talk about their receivers at this point. So I mean,
Oh,
that draft smelled like dog dookie. I'm sorry, straight up.
Really just said, dude.
Injury infested, like infection induced, like hot, wet, moist, liquidy dog dookie.
Stop,
on to
stop.
the next.
That there was
On to the next. Mute yourself.
All right, next.
Who's your loser of the draft? Oh my gosh, man.
All right, gentlemen, this is a really good time in football. All right, we're at like a paradox shift where we're about to see like a big change in one of the most hated franchises in all of football, and that is the New England Patriots, who are my losers of the NFL draft. And once again, you have to look at all of the moves that they made in their offseason, and you're faced with two options. Either A, Belichick has accepted we're going to be shit. We're going to be dog shit. I'm going to put time into draft picks. We're going to rebuild back up. Or you're going to say, you know what? No, I'm Bill Belichick. I'm still going to be competitive. And if we're going to go with the second one, then they did a dog shit job at this draft.
Dog
and I'm
do?
going to tell you why. So, these guys lost Tom Brady, Kyle Van Noy, and Jamie Collins in the offseason. Obviously, Gronk was traded to Tampa Bay as well. Didn't draft a quarterback, signed Hoyer, right? Lost a kicker, took one cheap in the 5th round. Some dude from Marshall. I don't know his name. I'm not going to say his name. Okay. And instead, getting Stidham or Hoyer, or whoever's going to play quarterback, a dynamic playmaker. You know who they got them? Marquise Lee. You know who Marquise Lee is? Marquise Lee is Mr. Glass. Mr. I can't stay on the field if my life depended on it. So there you go. Then started off with Kyle Duggar.
Hey, nosebleeds, take 4. All right.
I don't know if it's 4 if it's 10, but let's go.
This has to be the most ridiculous nosebleed section we've ever recorded. It's ridiculous. And obviously, dude, your connection's tapped to the Patriots. They're not letting you talk bad about this at all.
I've been compromised.
And he got cut off not once, but twice. They cut him off. But he's back. Now, if you get cut off again, you're not coming back because they're going to try to make
It's an omen.
Dude, you go ahead. You get out your quiet Patriots and hopefully see what happens.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got you this time. All right. So, like I said, lost Brady, lost Jamie Collins, lost Kyle Van Noy, lost their starting kicker, literally addressed basically no needs in this draft. Didn't draft a quarterback, signed Brandon Hoyer, didn't find any weapon for Stidham or Hoyer, instead signed Marquise Lee, who everybody knows is Mr. Glass. All right.
Tight ends.
Who?
They did get 2 tight ends.
Hey, buddy, I'll let you do your losers. How about you let me do mine? All right. Okay. Is it okay? Can I go now? All right. I'm going to go now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. First pick. They picked Kyle Duggar, safety out of Lenore Ryan. All right. Like I said, he adds, honestly, to me, mostly special teams potential. Dude is an athlete, played at Division II, pretty small school. Like I said, the only thing I really see him contributing to is special team, potentially. Josh Uche, who didn't start one game at Michigan until his senior year, and they traded pick 71 and 98 to trade up to 60, and they got pick 129 in return for this draft pick. Like I said, lost Van Noy and Jamie Collins, and instead all you got was a linebacker that didn't start a game until his senior year at Michigan. It's not like he played in the SEC where they were playing tremendous other
Put some respect on my boy Anthony Jennings.
Nah, I'm cool. Nah, Anthony Jennings, I will give you, that was probably their best pick, but that's not saying much. Belichick loves signing defensive ends, and I hope that he's not one of those defensive players that just gets lost in the system. and doesn't find his own identity, honestly, because you're right. He was a force to be reckoned with at Alabama, but once Belichick gets a player in his system, it's like you either buy in and you forget what you know, and that's about it. And then they did like one of the dumbest moves ever. I get it. You just traded Gronkowski. They drafted 2 tight ends back to back, Devin Asiasi out of UCLA and Dalton Keene out of Virginia Tech. Like I said, they got a kicker out of Marshall in the 5th, out of fucking Marshall. Joe, do you know this kid? Is he like the greatest kicker in the world? No, I don't know shit about draft prospects. Maybe this is the best kicker in the world. I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. They got Michael Onwenu. This is an offensive guard. This kid is 6'3", 344 pounds, big as hell. Doesn't fit the Patriots mold as somewhat mobile lineman to help get to the next level. Really only good for holding at the point of attack. So I really don't see what you're going to do back there if they get past him. They don't have a mobile quarterback. I don't think Stidham is fucking Lamar Jackson, and he didn't tell anybody. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. Justin Aaron, the offensive lineman at Wake Forest, really small hands. That's all anybody had to say about him. Really small hands. Offensive lineman.
Who?
Justin Aaron out of Wake Forest. Everybody was just like, I'm surprised you're an offensive lineman because your hands are that small. So I don't know what service he's going to use. All right. Cash Mulai, linebacker out of Wyoming, sick hair. Dude's got a great mop on his head. So he's 5'11", 231, and he's like a lightweight linebacker, and he's mostly a special team contributor. I don't really think you're going to put him out there because a 5'11", 231 linebacker is probably going to get eaten by Derrick Henry. So I don't really see what the point of that pick was. And they got Dustin Woodard, who's an offensive lineman out of Memphis, 6'1", 295. He's a developmental center, I guess, potentially, maybe. I don't fucking know. But like I said, if you're thinking that I'm Bill Belichick and I'm going to compete right now, this was the shittiest draft I've ever seen. You didn't draft one playmaker. You didn't draft a quarterback. You got a fucking kicker from Marshall in the 5th round, bro. Like, what are you doing out here?
And you traded away 2 of your 4th round picks and a 6th round next year to move up and get a tight end.
Exactly. And then get another tight end right after him.
No, they drafted Dalton Keene with that pick because they got it from us.
Whatever, regardless, 2 tight ends back to back, and Devin Asiasi is more like a vertical threat. They said that his blocking's improving. I don't fucking believe it. Dude played at UCLA. Pac-12 is soft. I don't have to tell you guys that, but fuck it. I mean, yeah, Patriots are trash, basically. Like I said, this is like the best time for football.
I'm just saying.
Best time for football. The Patriots sucking is the best thing that can happen to the NFL and get some new teams rising in the AFC. Go Jets, maybe. Who knows? Go Jets. I don't know.
Last time they took 2 tight ends back to back, it was fucking Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. So,
well, we saw where Aaron Hernandez ended up, and Gronk is no longer with them. So,
I have another theory that the Patriots have always been historically bad at drafting. Because if you look back to the draft where they took Tom Brady, literally, Kuz, chill out. You go back to the draft. You go back to the draft where they took Tom Brady. Literally, one of 9 players. None of the other 8 players they drafted never made a career out of themselves. Patriots, literally unlucky, like shittiest drafting organization, just get lucky in free agency.
Ooh, hot fire.
You came with the full clip.
Yeah.
Let him know.
My God.
You didn't breathe that whole time you were talking.
No, I didn't. I was one take Jake, baby. Let's go.
ammo.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
I don't even want to go anymore. How do you follow that? All right. So, for my losers,
I feel like you should have a hot take for this one too, Joe.
huh?
I feel like you should have a hot take for this one too.
I mean, yeah, but damn.
Not that.
Yeah.
This man straight up came out
With the team.
the GTA 5 clip. Like,
honestly, I saw mad people rating their draft class and giving them like a B+ and a B-, and I said, you guys are bold-faced liars. This is dog shit. You know it. I know it. Let's just call it for what it is, honestly.
It's a team, bro.
All right.
all
They
losing for Lawrence. That's what we need to know. They losing for Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be. You're right. All right. So, for my losers in the draft, I went with the Packers. I think there's I think it's gonna be a lot of animosity going forward. I mean, unless Aaron steps up and believes he pulls the team move, you could say. But just real quick. Okay, so we know first round doing Jordan Love. Jordan Love is the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers. I guess everybody assumes that. Then you go back and you got AJ Dillon. Now, at first, I thought they got AJ Dillon in the third round, but no, they took AJ Dillon at pick 62 of the second round.
That's basically a third round.
But it's still a reach. Everybody had AJ Dillon late third, early fourth, somewhere around there, maybe. And then the thing that kills me about it is that you went with a second round pick and you got a third string running back. You have Aaron Jones and you have what's his name, Jamal Williams there, and then you go get AJ Dillon. So you wasted a second round pick on a third string running back. Gotcha. Then you go back in the third round, you take Josiah DeGora, who I think me and Jay watched him during the combine, and he looked pretty good, but he also had maybe a fifth, sixth round grade on him, and you took him in the third round to be another backup tight end. Oh, another third round tight end, because they also have Mercedes Lewis and Jay Sternberger. So you took two third string players with your second and third picks. Smart. Don't have a fourth round pick. You do it when you get
and a backup quarterback with your first pick.
Yeah.
Then you go back.
Yeah, but that's like one that's going to be their starting quarterback after.
Yeah. How long is that gonna take? And you know
I don't know. Think about it. They did the same thing at Rodgers. Rodgers didn't play for like 3 years.
Yeah, and you know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen? The Packers are gonna trade Aaron Rodgers, and he's gonna go somewhere in division and toast him like Brett Favre did.
He's coming to us.
Bears. He could go to the Bears, and he's gonna go back and go to Green Bay and destroy the Packers and be like, "This is what you did. You did this to yourself again." Like when Brett Favre to the Vikings and destroyed the Packers. That's what Aaron Rodgers is gonna do. And Aaron Rodgers is gonna be younger with a better team, probably. He's gonna have a better O-line. He's gonna have a great defense. He's gonna have receivers who don't have to be amazing because he's Aaron Rodgers and he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. So it doesn't matter. He can go to the Bears and destroy them for the next 5 years while Jordan Love sputters and flounders. That's what's gonna happen. And they're gonna screw themselves again. And you know what they did?
He's a bust.
I'm not gonna say he's a bust, but what did you do? You didn't give Aaron Rodgers any help. You gave him again.
None.
You gave him a third string running back, a third string tight end. Kamal Martin didn't play the entire last year, so you probably could have got the guy in the 7th round or undrafted. Then you go get John and
Single wide receiver in one of the best wide receiver classes in history.
and you didn't get
one.
And you didn't get one, not one.
Not one. And
So
I don't know where I heard it, but I heard someone say that like Aaron Rodgers threw 300 touchdowns before he even threw to a first round wide receiver, which was Devontae.
And actually, they haven't drafted a first round receiver or like a weapon in 15 years. Which the last time they did was Aaron Rodgers.
Dude, this guy got nothing. This whole draft, there's not one person that they brought into this draft that is going to be a starter, or even like an immediate impact player. Like again, AJ Dillon's going to be a third string running back who might get.
I honestly think their best.
Who's their best? What?
I honestly think their best pick was Jonathan Garvin in round 7.
So, draft for them, 7th round, pick 242. So, 6th round, you take John Runyon Jr., backup guard. You take Jake Hansen, backup center. Simon Stepaniak, backup tackle. Vernon Scott, never heard of you. Like Jonathan Garvin is you might be right. That might be the one person, and he might not even because they have Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith and Rashawn Gary. So, what did you do to Aaron Rodgers? Like, you wouldn't have sabotaged this man.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
So, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Matt LaFleur, isn't he from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree?
Yeah, running game.
So, what if do you think that? Because I the more I started to think about it, I'm starting to think that I don't think you have a player like Aaron Rodgers and just intentionally disrespect him like that. So what if he's trying to take after that whole 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks model of building up the O-line, going out there with a double tight end set. Russell Wilson's never had a dynamic receiver like that. You at least have Devontae Adams. If I load up everything else, if we run the ball 50 times a game and only make you throw Jimmy Garoppolo has to throw 20 times a game and be a game manager, obviously that's minimalizing his role. But what if that do you think that could be what he thinks, or do you think he's fuck that, I'm rebuilding this team, you're out of here soon, whatever the case
They didn't get along anyway.
I think implementing more of the Shanahan way.
I think they're building for the future because you didn't. It's not like you went out first round and got like a tackle or somebody. All the minor league took are backups. They're project players. They're not starting day one. They're not starting year one. And then on top of that, you had your tight ends last year were Mercedes Lewis, I believe he was there, and you had Jay Sternberger, and neither of them did anything. So and now your only receiver you have left, you have Alan Lazard and you have Devontae Adams. You could double Devontae Adams, and you can hope, and you have to hope.
Scantling and I think Devin Funches.
Yeah, you got Funches. Funches was hurt all last year, and Scanlon's not there anymore. Scanlon went to the Lions.
Or Geronimo Allison, I mean, my bad.
He's not there either.
One of them is there.
Adam Lazard.
Adam Lazard's the only one that's there right now.
Lazard's still there.
Didn't we look this up? I thought one of them had a Scantling and Allison.
Who is the dude with the long hair?
I don't know.
Kumaro.
All right, continue your point anyway.
Kumaro.
Man,
Listen, from what I know from like all the pretty much ESPN analysts, like analysts from like Chicago, they were talking to somebody that covers the Green Bay Packers, and they said that it's just a theory, is just throwing it out there, but they were saying that Matt LaFleur basically wants to push out Aaron Rodgers and then potentially trade Devontae Adams for another first rounder to build up their line next year or whatever it is. Again, this is just a rumor. They don't even know if it's true. They were just throwing shit out there, and I heard it, and it kind of stuck with me. Like as soon as you said the Packers, that's the first thing I thought of is maybe they are building for the future, because obviously they traded up to get Jordan Love. So I'm assuming they're going to trade Devontae Adams, try to get somebody else there, and then hopefully maybe they're hoping that Aaron Rodgers will teach Jordan Love something. But I highly fucking doubt that, because last year in the beginning of the year, Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers were literally butting heads the whole season. And then after 3 weeks, he finally said, you know what, I'm going to make the play call. And then if Aaron sees something, he could teach it on his own. He doesn't need to ask. But, like, you shouldn't even be – I mean, as a head coach, if you have a dominant QB like that, who's one of the greatest in the NFL right now, you shouldn't have to be second-guessing yourself or second-guessing him. So I feel like they did that on purpose. It was just a hot –
I think that, like you come from, like I said, the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree, and like you played him I believe in the NFC Championship game, correct?
Yeah.
And you lose to him, he goes on to the Super Bowl. I think there's something in you that says, let me replicate what he built over there. I have one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. If I can talk to him into like minimalizing his role and implementing this system, I don't think that you just open hand slap Aaron Rodgers in the face like that. I think that gives you a bad precedence with any player that you try to acquire from that point on. It's like career suicide as a head coach. I would never want to play with you if that's really what you do to a legend. Because I still think he has 2 very competitive years like left.
He has a 4-year contract.
36, you guys. He's only 36. Tom Brady just started becoming like very, I'm not going to say average, but he took a downgrade from the last year and the year before that. And he's, 42 or 41, I believe? So if Aaron Rodgers is 36, he has a 4-year contract, right? So I think what they're hoping, again, is for him to play for another 2 years and teach Jordan Love something, and then they basically trade him away, or he asks for a trade, whatever it is, and Jordan Love takes the reins. But like you said, I personally don't think they did that intentionally to slap him. But at the end of the day, I mean, you had these picks. You could have gotten people like Jordan Love I don't think anybody was taking Jordan Love in the first round.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this was I agree 100% with Joe. This was a shitty draft class, 100%. But I have to think that like going from like 15-1 or 14-2, going to the NFC title game, there has to be some kind of strategy behind this.
I mean, bro, they went 13-3, and all they had was Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Now, again, Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones went crazy, like, especially when Jamal Williams came back. But, like, again, if you want to adapt that whole Kyle Shanahan thing, all right, well, you got 2 great running backs. And then you picked up 2 tight ends, or they have 2 tight ends, drafted another one. So, again, yeah, maybe they can, like, adopt that whole Kyle Shanahan running style. But even last year, they went 13-3 without even trying to do that. They just did what they needed to do, and they went 13-3. So I agree with both of you, and I understand where you guys are coming from. I just think that like they're basically just trying to fuck it up. I don't know why, but they're doing it.
Yeah, I understand what you guys are saying, but I literally just see it as they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot again. That's how I see it. I see the because
I mean, but like I agree with the Boots saying. I think he's trying to turn this into like the Shanahan like way.
yes,
like,
but I mean, again, you don't do that again. You don't do that to a franchise Hall of Fame quarterback. Like, dude, let the dude ball. Like, he's done it. He's done it with less. Like, give the guy some type of talent and then see what happens. Like, let the dude do something. Like let him. Like, it doesn't make you didn't help the guy at all. You got nothing but third string backups for the guy.
Did they draft any linemen?
Yeah, they drafted 3 linemen.
Yeah, 3 linemen in the 6th round. Like
Interior lineman, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
they took
they
a
lost
guard
Balaga, right? Then Tyler Skaggs or Skiggs, whatever the hell his name is, ended up coming. He signed with the Bears, so they lost their interior. So I guess it makes sense for them to draft that. But again, I don't know, man.
And again, if you're gonna address your offensive line, do it earlier. You have people that take earlier rounds that are, again, if you're gonna take a lineman, take a lineman in the 2nd round. Don't take AJ Dillon. Don't take a third running back in the 2nd round. If you want to address the line, take a 3rd rounder. Don't take Josiah DeGora in the 3rd round. Like DeGora had the guy again. I had a 5th round grade on him. Maybe he went in the 4th, but like, why are you taking 3rd strings in the 2nd and 3rd round? It doesn't make sense. Give him a tackle in the 2nd round and a receiver in the 3rd, and he'd so much better. And look how all the receiver talent that was on the board. It was one of the deepest drafts in how long?
They could have low-key. They could have taken T. Higgins in the 1st round. I know it kind of would have been maybe a stretch for him, but they could have taken T. Higgins in the 1st round, and then the 2nd round came back and took Jordan Love, and then in the 3rd round took a tackle or a guard or whatever it is. But I don't know, man. They just I still don't understand the Jordan Love pick. I don't understand the AJ Dillon pick. I don't understand any of the picks they took. Honestly, none of them.
Got Jordan Love. I think if Jordan Love was around in round 2, then the Eagles would have taken Jordan Love over.
Yep, that's what I'm saying though. They could have taken him in the 2nd. They could have traded up to take him in the 2nd, not in the 1st. In the 1st, a receiver, take a guard, something.
Well, for one, the suspicious part of the whole thing is that they traded up to get Jordan Love. So they gave up something to get Jordan Love.
For one. 2, they tried to trade up earlier.
Yeah, and then the rumors that I heard was that they were trying to get ahead of the Colts, who were trying to trade back into the 1st to get Jordan Love.
I think that's all smoke, bro.
No, that's what they were in competition with the Colts because the Colts had already wanted Jordan Love. That's why the Colts stayed pat in the 2nd round.
They could have sat here and waited and not traded up and got like Jacob Eason in the 3rd or 4th round, like and then Aaron Rodgers would have been like, whatever, he's not taking my spot. He's going to develop for the next 3 or 4 years. But the fact that you traded up to go get this guy who people consider the 5th best receiver or 4th best receiver, whatever, quarterback, my bad, in the draft, you traded up and moved pieces to go get this guy. Like it speaks volumes. Like,
I think honestly, if you're going to look at what the future of the NFL is going to be and how things are changing, you could have stayed packed, got a receiver in the 1st round, and in the 2nd round, you 100% could have went after Jalen Hurts. Because Jalen Hurts needs that time behind Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers needs the security to know that, all right, this guy's not taking my job. He's going to be the guy when I'm done. Because it's going to take Jalen Hurts that long to get there.
Like you guys said, I feel like if they took Jordan Love in the 2nd round, I don't think Aaron Rodgers would have felt as threatened as he. I mean, again, we don't know if he is threatened or not, but assuming Aaron Rodgers and knowing Aaron Rodgers for the past 15 years, I'm 99% sure he's like, what the fuck is going on?
According to Brett Favre, he was really confused about the pick because Brett talked to him right after the pick happened. So again, it's not the fact that they took Jordan Love. I don't think that's it. It's the fact of why is it that you continue to pass on present needs in the 1st round to, kind of push back the fact that Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a lot of help. like, again, what was it, 26? You could have taken, hell, you could have reached and took Brandon Ayuk at that pick. Like, I get it's a reach, but it would have been something. It's a need. Like, it would have been something.
T.
Like,
Higgins
this
was
man
there.
something.
That's
Like,
what I'm
T.
saying.
Higgins was sitting there. Freaking Josh Jones was there. Like, bro, like, I don't understand. Ezra Cleveland was there. Like, there are so many other people that would have been there that would have helped right now, like next year.
Now, could you imagine if Aaron Rodgers took, again, if you took like T. Higgins, then you had T. Higgins, you had Lazard, and you had Devontae Adams, and like you have
He would have turned T. Higgins into a superstar.
Yeah. And then
T. Higgins would have got paid his next check.
Yeah, and then the thing is, like I said, if they took T. Higgins at 26, because again, the Bengals took him at 33. So imagine if they took him at 26, and then in the second round, they were like, oh shit, okay, the Colts want Jordan Love. Well, we want him. We're convicted on Jordan Love, just like a lot of GMs are. Like, for example, the Bears were convicted on fucking Trubisky. Look how that turned out, right? So, like, imagine if they were, like, completely convicted on Jordan Love, they could have traded up in the second round. You gave up way too much in the first round to move up to get Jordan Love. And again, it keeps coming back to me like Aaron Rodgers is like, what the fuck is this? Like, I could have understood if you took him in the second, but in the first round, you traded up to get him. It's not like you just picked him at 26. You traded up to get him. So it's like either you're trying to kick me out or...
But they wouldn't have Love if they waited to the second round.
They could have got him at 30. They didn't have to trade up to get him.
That's
my thing. You didn't have to trade up to get him.
And again, who's to say he wouldn't have been there in the second round? They could have traded up in the second round.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it to me again. It's like I said, it speaks volumes when the team goes out and does that. Like, I mean, look at the Giants last year. Look at last year when we traded to get Daniel Jones. I'm not traded up, but like we took Daniel Jones at 6. Like, and people were like, "Oh, he was going to be there at 17. He would have been there second round." Blah blah. And it's like, but what everybody said, where are the Giants reach the time? Whenever if you want that guy, you go get him. Okay. That's what speaks to this. But that also shows that Daniel Jones was thrown in by week 3. And I'm not gonna sit here and say Aaron Rodgers week 3, but it speaks volumes to a player when you've been the guy for the past 10 to 12 years, and then just your team trades up to pick somebody that's literally going to be your replacement. Like, instead of helping me in the now, again, you said we went 13-3, so we were on the cusp of the Super Bowl. And instead of just keeping the building for now, you're going to just say, "Okay, we're going to blow it up, and just go back and rebuild from the bottom." Like, for what? Why are you starting back at the bottom for? We're 13-3. We were 2 games away. Like, why are you building for the future? It's like the Jordan and the Bulls documentary.
Yeah,
like, it's what it is. Like, dude, like, you don't blow up Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman and that whole Bulls team. You're winning championships. Why do you blow it up? It's like this. You're so close to a championship. Why are you blowing it up? It just, I don't know. It speaks volumes to me, but.
And again, it's not like Aaron Rodgers is just a standard average QB. He's the fucking Hall of Famer. He's gonna be. Yeah. He's been great. It's not like he came into the league like, obviously he waited 3 years to play, but as soon as he came in, he made an impact. The first year he started, he made an impact. So it wasn't like they were just shooting a shot and saying, "Oh, he's just average. Let's switch over. Let's build for the future." No, this is a fucking Hall of Famer, and you traded up to like basically kick him out.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna move on. I know I want to get into our individual teams drafts, but guys, we're gonna check that out. So you guys look out for that. We're gonna have individual team drafts for everybody. Amber's gonna do for the Bears. We have Jets and Giants content coming. Real quick before we end, because it's been a long night, but
to say the least.
Yeah, it's more than you guys know at home viewing. But man, we're just gonna go through real quick. I want to get you guys' opinion on who you think's gonna be like the offensive and defensive rookies of the year, I guess you could say. So either if you guys have a name like for offensive and defensive, or if you just have like people that you're excited to see or impact players or anything like that. It doesn't have to be like it doesn't have to be player of the year. It doesn't have to be rookie of the year. It could just be whatever you're feeling. Somebody that you thought like when you saw them get picked, you're like, oh, like I like that fit. I like that pick. I think he's gonna do well. So, Amber, if you have anybody, I'll start with you. So if you have anybody that you're thinking that might be offensive rookie or whatever, or just somebody that you're really excited to see.
Somebody I don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year, but somebody I'm really excited to see. Again, I'm just going to keep going back to it. It's T. Higgins. Just one of my favorite players coming out of college. I've liked him for the past 3 years, ever since like he started at Clemson.
Because
That's just me. I'm just excited to see him. I don't think he's going to be a huge impact or anything like that. I'm really excited to see him. That's for offensively. Defensively, I'm gonna come back home and say Jalen Johnson. Hopefully, this injury wasn't anything serious. I'm pretty sure he had surgery on it already. He did say he was talking to Jeff Joniak, one of our like basically main faces for the Bears, and he said that he's fully healthy and he had all his test results. Physical went fine. So I'm really excited to see him because I think he's going to be – I know for a fact he's going to be a day one starter for us. I think he's going to make an impact, like, right off the bat.
Cool. I like that. What are you thinking? Offensive rookie, defensive rookie, people you're excited to see? Anybody?
I'm really excited to see J.K. Dobbins on the Ravens offense. I'm excited to see Jerry Jeudy in that new look Broncos offense for as far as offense goes. I think Jeudy contests for Rookie of the Year. I don't know if he'll win it, but I think he'll definitely be up there in conversation. Defensively, tough to say. I think Chase Young is going to have a good year right off the bat. The dude's just a monster. I don't know if Washington's going to have a good year, but I think he'll have a good year. I'm actually interested to see Jeffrey Okudah play in the NFL because he got away with a lot of holding in college.
Like he told y'all, check the tape. Check the tape.
So for the Ravens, I know the Ravens always have like this crazy like running back by committee, not committee, but like you just have like a whole bunch of talent in the backfield. I know they have Ingram, Gus Edwards, they have somebody else too. Oh, Justin Hill. What do you think? Like,
do they still have Alex Collins?
I don't think so. I think he's free agent.
No, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't seen him in the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't seen that. I haven't even heard that guy's name in a minute. What do you think?
Buck Allen.
Buck Allen was actually on the Giants this past year.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But he's gone now. He was a 1-year deal. Even though I wouldn't mind him back as a fourth guy, I'd move on from Wayne Gallman. But for the Ravens backfield, like, what do you think? Like, do you think like is this Mark Ingram's last year on that Ravens backfield? Or do you think Dobbins takes over, or what do you think it goes?
I don't think so at all. I think like it could be like how Ingram and Kamara were there for a couple years together. Like they're just an explosive tandem, and I think it could be very similar too.
All right. Abood, what are you looking at? Who are people that offensively, defensively, you're excited to see?
Offensively, Jonathan Taylor, arguably the best running back in the league. I'm excited to see what he does in Indianapolis. Defensively, I'm going to just stick with it, man. Isaiah Simmons, I think that kid is a playmaker. I'm really, really excited to see. I don't know necessarily if they'll be contending for Rookies of the Year, but I do think that they'll be really impactful players on their teams.
All right. I kind of don't like you because I was going to say Isaiah Simmons, so.
It's all right. Kuz took my answer, so it's okay.
It's great minds think alike, baby.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Jay. What are you talking?
So I'm gonna be a little biased since Kuz already took my answer. My first answer was the entire Denver offense, like that whole offense. I just can't wait to watch Denver games and just watch them light people up. But I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer on this one. I'm really curious to see how Denzel Mims fits in the Jets offense because I feel like he has number one receiver traits, but we'll see if. He's just been holding out because that's what he was asked to do in Baylor, or can he run routes a lot better than we think he does? And he just takes over as like Sam's favorite target week 1, week 2, week 3. So I'm just kind of curious to see how that works. But my defense, I'm gonna hit you guys with a curveball. Kenneth Murray
All right.
on the Chargers, because I did not expect the Chargers to take him.
Me either.
I'm really, really curious to see Kenneth Murray on the Chargers, because I feel like that Chargers defense is already locked and loaded, and they could have used a guy like Isaiah Simmons to kind of like really take it over the edge. But I feel like with as good as Isaiah Simmons were, we kind of forgot about Patrick Queen and Kenneth Murray and how elite those guys really are at their positions, like going from, sideline to sideline. And Kenneth Murray is one of those leadership kind of guys where he's like a Ray Lewis type in a sense, because he has the respect of the locker room. And if you can get that kind of character and that kind of elite athleticism and play and intelligence on the Chargers as they're moving to LA, like the Chargers could be a really good defensive team, and that could be their calling card up until Justin Herbert's ready to take his step. Because again, we talk about, say that again.
I said, all right, just pump the brakes on the he's like their Ray Lewis talk.
I'm saying in terms of traits, characteristics. I'm not talking about he's Ray Lewis. I'm saying in terms of traits, the fact that he's a really good person, and he's that kind of person that people rally around, and he can really elevate his teammates by just the type of person and the type of player that he is. That level of elevation, that level of drive that makes you want to play with and for a guy like that, Kenneth Murray definitely does have that trait. And again, we've known the Chargers to just be straight up pillow soft. Like, they've been soft for years. So for them to get a guy like that and to be the type of team where we don't know, like the Chargers could be a really good defense, and defense could be their calling card in LA. And I know LA ain't used to that because, show business, yada, yada, yada. But if you get some guys that really hurt somebody out there, like, Chargers could definitely put themselves on the map in the new stadium.
Yeah, I mean, they're adding pieces. I mean, they already have Ingram, they got Bosa, now they got Murray, they got Derwin James. So that defense with some attitude this year,
That's what I'm saying.
I like it. So, real quick for my my defensive guy, I'm gonna stick with the linebacker theme because Abood stole Isaiah Simmons. I was gonna watch him. You stole Kenneth Murray. Don't point at me. Don't give me the guns. I'm not my And so I'm gonna go with Patrick Queen because I want to see him. I want to see him replace the linebackers that the Ravens have lost over the past couple of years. But also, a lot that I was reading and hearing on him, a lot of people started to, and this might have just been like draft talk and stuff like that, but like a lot of people started to call him overrated because a lot of people were saying he's a 1-year player, and it's just because of that whole defense that he was, as looked as good as he did. Now, when you have Christian Fulton as one of the corners, you have Grant Delpit as one of the safeties. You got Stingley, who's actually one of the best corners in the nation this past year, and he was only a freshman. You got Michael Divinity Jr. was a linebacker. Jacob Phillips was another linebacker. Like, you have Caleb Von Chase on. Like, that whole defense was stacked. And everybody was, Patrick Queen, kid's wise. Like, he's range, sideline to sideline. I like the kid. A lot of people, I don't know if it was just because it was during draft time, people just want him to slide down forward.
Let's be real.
Can I get my point? Let me get my point first. Guys, they cutting everybody off. But like, my whole thing is like, again, like I don't know if it was just somebody was putting stuff out because they wanted him to fall to them in the draft. I don't think he's overrated. I think the kid has the size, the speed, the IQ, the range, the tackling ability, and everything to be a great linebacker. And again, in that Ravens defense with Doc Martindale, he's going to coach the hell out of that kid and make that kid probably one of the leaders of that team, along with all the defensive veterans they have on that front line. So, I mean, to me, that personally, I'm somebody that I want to see. I want to see him, succeed. I want to see him be the great player that everybody's putting the pressure on him to be. So that's my defensive guy. So what were you going to say?
I don't remember now. That's why I was trying to spit it out. Getting this later, but like usually when I'll forget it if I don't say it. So it's all good.
All right, well, good. Offensively, I was thinking about this, but because of this whole podcast tonight, I'm gonna be an asshole and I'm gonna say Henry Ruggs. That's what I want to see. I want to see what's gonna happen with Henry Ruggs. Let me see what that guy develops into.
I'm actually excited to see him too.
I am too because he doesn't.
We know you are.
Because he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball. So that's what I want to see. I want to see Marcus Mariota and Derek Carr throw him the ball and see how much of a stud he is. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm most looking forward to. I want to see what that kid does because I don't know. You're suddenly a big Terrell Williams fan and a big
On a run, bro.
So I want to see what Henry Ruggs does.
Hey, got so much to go to. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they got shit.
Close to it.
It's like borderline, you know what I'm saying? All right. On a run for reliable hand.
Why, dude?
It's a big body.
Hunter Renfro is a poor
somebody
man.
take the shovel away, please. Somebody take the shovel away, please.
Hunter Renfro
Please.
is a poor man's Ryan Switzer.
Whoa!
Hey, I think I'm done for the night, dude.
He comes up.
Jeez.
Yo, wow. You've been on fire tonight. What's up with you?
Ooh,
It's just been a
he's
minute.
ready. He's
Yeah, I
ready.
just want to say Hunter Renfro because you love him so much. He's 5'10", 185. He's
big.
smaller. He's smaller than a sloth.
What do you mean? Fucking Jameson Crowder, 5'9". KJ Hamler, 5'9".
Okay, but hold on. But those guys got dynamic speed. Hunter Renfro does not.
He's got 8 clutch moments.
Bro, he's had one good year, one good catch, one.
When you make catches in the biggest moments, that's all you got to do.
Okay, hold on. I have a serious question for you, ready? So, a question statement. He had 49 receptions for 605 yards and 4 touchdowns, right? That's what his stats were last year. So you think this guy's gonna make the jump to a 100 catch season with 1,000 yards?
I never said that. I just said he was another weapon to take the fucking pressure off Ruggs.
Okay, but there is no pressure on Hunter Renfro at all.
Right, it's all on Ruggs. I'm saying they can get the ball to Hunter Renfro to open up Ruggs. They can get the ball to Tyrell Williams to open up Ruggs.
Listen,
They're leaving Renfro out there alone. Ain't nobody going to guard him.
Listen. He's the man. Hey, listen. He is known for his 2-yard hitch routes or 2-yard out routes. That's it. He gets 2 yards reception.
Braxton Berrios. Now that's a cold white boy right there. Braxton Berrios.
Hey, bruh.
Yo,
chill with that. You know what? How about them Cowboys though? We ain't even mentioned that offense.
Hey,
how about them
I
boys?
talked about them. All right, relax.
We literally gave them a whole segment, Jay.
You guys enjoyed that?
I buried your rivals and you praised mine.
No, because you tried to come. You tried to come for my boy Braxton real quick.
Listen, I know the Vikings.
Saucy,
from
bro.
you.
From the boy Saucy, bro.
Listen, I know the Vikings had a great draft, but you sat there praising them and literally giving flatter. Fuck them too. You think I care about their draft? Fuck the Cowboys too. I hate them too. What the hell? I don't care about any of them. Listen, whoever buried the Packers, I love you, which was Joe, right? Dude, he buried the Packers. He was just feeding into my soul after all that shit you guys are talking about my fucking jersey and all that shit.
I wish Abood kind of would have picked the Packers.
What do you mean?
Oh.
Who did it? As long as you buried that. Did it. I'm fine.
Yo, but why'd you get like the ultimate Josh Bellamy? Why'd you get that one? You couldn't get the blue Josh Bellamy?
Listen, I swear to God, I will get up right now and
The third string.
Why?
He's not even a third string. You're being nice.
Boy, if you don't put your Taylor Gabriel jersey back on.
Don't start. You guys had a receiver to go down. Relax.
What'd you
Yo, what number was Kevin White?
Taylor Gabriel like 18? What was he?
Boy balled out one game. Then concussion was
Yeah,
done.
Taylor Gabriel jersey.
If you don't put if you don't put
What-
that Luke McCown jersey
What
down,
else? Hey, what
He ironed it back up.
he ironed
It said Bellamy earlier.
Josh Bellamy was number 15. So, no, man, I hate you.
hey, Under Armour don't make football jerseys.
That's not Under. Oh, man.
Yo,
Are you guys done burying me? Are you guys done?
I'm done.
All right, dude. All is we had a better record than all of you. That's all I care about. At the end of the day, my team was still better than both your teams. So
Amber, I can't getting this mad over Josh Bellamy. This is crazy.
it's because Josh Bellamy was the fucking
He's
king
the
of
greatest
special
wide
teams.
receiver of all time.
No, he's not.
Josh Bellamy, Walter Payton.
Stop, dude. Oh my god.
No,
Oh,
no. It's over. It's over. We're done.
I'm sweating again.
We're done. We gotta get out of here. Oh my
All
god.
right, dude.
Oh man. This night's been awesome. Tomorrow we'll record individual guys.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure in my individual to state that Josh Bellamy no longer plays with us. I'm just saying he hasn't been for 2 years now.
That's not true.
Okay, 1 year. I'm sorry. This is the second year, right? He hasn't been with us for 2 years. Guess what trash ass team he's on? The team you're
My
repping.
team. I know.
Trash.
I know.
You guys pick up trash.
Listen,
But he didn't get his jersey.
I don't have.
I'm not
Alright,
the one who
dude,
bought the
can we
jersey.
end this? Can we end this? I thought you were
Say
talking about.
goodnight, Joe.
Hey, things I learned during this session. Because even the jersey, hey, he gets mad when you talk about it.
Oh my god. They don't even
Like,
sell
I'm
them
not,
in the NFL
I'm
shop.
not even mad about the Taylor Gabriel because he was decent. Josh
That's
Bellamy.
definitely a custom jersey. They didn't have that in the store.
They don't sell that in the NFL shop. He definitely paid $300 for that jersey.
Oh my god.
I don't even think Josh Bellamy's jersey costs $50. The real one, the authentic.
If you're gonna customize the jersey, at least get it stitched. Don't get it printed on, man. What's wrong?
It was like the 90s, bro.
Yo, we're done. We're done.
Done, just
Guys.
end this fucking shit now. I'm so done with you guys, bro. I just want to go. I want to go lay in bed right now. I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep.
Damn. That's over for real.
Everybody have a good night.
For real, all this.
Bro,